Space, the final frontier. How much do you know about what's out there? Some things are cool and some things are just plain weird. So join us as we look at 10 things you might not know about space and space travels. Number 10. Free pedicure. If you ever go to space, you'll get a free pedicure included, as the skin on your feet peels off by itself. Because of gravity, the astronauts don't walk on their feet, they kind of just float around. I'm sure you've seen that in the movies. Now, what they don't show you in the movies is that because of the astronauts not walking on their feet, the skin starts to soften and flakes off. Pretty gross. The astronauts usually wear the same socks and underwear for quite a number of days as well, because there's no laundry facilities. When they do take off their socks, after a few days, it has to be done so very gently, or those dead skin cells will float around weightlessly all over the spaceship or the station. Number 9. Water is bad for you. Maybe you're feeling a bit sad up there in space. Maybe you're homesick and just feel like you need to cry. Be careful, it could be dangerous. Since there's no gravity, water will float around in little bubbles or spheres, and your tears would cling to your eyes in the form of bubbles rather than falling. One astronaut learned this the hard way when he got a leak in his spacesuit. Water leaked into his helmet and covered his eyes and ears, making it almost impossible for him to find his way back into the space station. I'd try to avoid chopping onions if I was there, that's for sure. Considering this, personal hygiene is a bit of a problem up there as well. Showers do not exist. Instead, astronauts use a personal grooming kit with special rinse-free shampoo and a sponge to keep themselves somewhat clean. No crying, no shower, and no onions. Number 8. It's hotter than... Mercury is the planet closest to the Sun, but it's actually not the hottest. Although temperatures here can reach 425 degrees Celsius, it can also drop to minus 180 due to the fact that Mercury doesn't have an atmosphere. The warmest planet is actually Venus, the second planet from the Sun. Its thick clouds traps the warmth of the Sun, causing it to be 500 degrees Celsius all the time. One day on Venus is also equal to about 1 year on Earth, and that would be a very long, hot day. Warmest on Earth, third planet from the Sun? Officially, 56.7 degrees Celsius is the current record, and we think that's quite enough. Number 7. Only 1 hour away. How long does it take for your bus to reach school? How long does it take to drive home and visit your family? Chances are it will take a longer time than actually reaching space. Space isn't really that far away. The invisible boundary that separates us from space is only about 100 kilometers away. In theory, if you could take a car and drive straight up, you'd be in space in less than 1 hour. If you'd like to go to the moon, however, you'd be stuck in that car for almost 6 months. At least there won't be any car queues. Number 6. Our Sun. Our beloved Sun is a star that keeps us nice and warm, but it's actually quite unimpressive. It's just like any other star out there, and even though about 1 million planet Earths would fit into the Sun, it's actually quite small. If you compare our Sun to some of the other stars out there we know about, the Sun is like the size of a small pebble. However, the Sun does have a trick up its sleeve. Unlike what most people think, the Sun is actually not yellow or orange, it's white. As long as it's keeping me warm, I won't complain, even if it's unimpressive. Number 5. The Space Station. The International Space Station is a big artificial satellite that orbits our planet. It's the most expensive object man has ever built, costing around $160 billion, and rising. It's owned by several countries and is a symbol of our cooperation in space. The station fits 6 crew members, is about the size of a 5-bedroom house, and can purify your urine into drinking water. At some places you can actually see the space station from Earth because it's in such low orbit. Dennis Tito, an American multimillionaire, became the first space tourist to fund his own trip into space. Before the trip, he trained with the Russians, since the American NASA refused. They felt that it was inappropriate for tourists to visit space. Obviously, it didn't matter. Dennis Tito spent 8 days on the space station, and his next wish is to send a private space flight to Mars. Number 4. Bombs away. In the 1960s, nuclear bombs were groovy. In 1962, the US set up a hydrogen bomb that was 100 times stronger than Hiroshima into space and detonated it for test purposes. When the nuclear warhead detonated, it had a much stronger impact than the scientists had expected. Satellites in orbit failed, phone lines and streetlights broke down due to the massive EMP from the bomb. Radioactive contamination came crashing down, and a radiation belt was formed around the Earth. Whoops. In other words, don't play with bombs in space. It's all fine now though, so don't worry. But no bombs in space.
Number 3.
When you go, you gotta go. When we have to go to the toilet, we just go. But when astronauts go to the toilet, it's a whole different ballgame. First, they have to strap themselves down, and then they actually have to watch their own naked behind on a monitor to ensure they're in the exact right position. The waste is directed by airflow, and systems are used to expose solid waste to vacuum pressures, killing off any bacteria. Since the air used to get rid of the waste gets pumped back into the cabin, you wouldn't want the air filtering system to fail, that's for sure.
Number 2.
The Golden Record. In a galaxy far, far away, they are listening to Earth music. Well, this could actually happen. In 1977, NASA sent up a space probe called Voyager 1, and with it, a golden record containing music, images, and sounds from Earth. A kind of greeting, if you will, if it would ever come into contact with any other life form. Its original mission was to go to Jupiter and Saturn, but Voyager 1 had made its way into interstellar space. It will most likely keep going, even after we lose contact with it. The record on board is a gold-plated audio-visual disc with binary visuals on how to actually play the disc, in case aliens don't have a record player. The aliens can enjoy music by Mozart and Chuck Berry, amongst others, and greetings in 55 different languages.
Number 1.
5 quick ones. Humans can live about 30 seconds in space without holding their breath. It is impossible to whistle in a spacesuit. The third country in space after the US and Russia was Canada. In 2015, astronauts ate food that had been grown in space for the first time. Astronauts are from America and cosmonauts are from Russia, where naut means sailor or voyager. As always, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this, please check out my other videos and hit that subscribe button. There's more to come. And one last question for you. Would you travel to space if you had the chance?